What's up, Pinellas? Welcome to episode 18, and with my good friend and co-host Marianne Davis.
Hello, hello. You know what? I think we maybe should have a party for the 20th episode.
20th episode.
You were so close.
God willing, we make it that far.
That's the big thing. That's the big thing.
As long as we don't get canceled. You guys have been canceled. Well, who canceled you?
That would be actually something that could happen in my world. I don't know why. I mean, just a second ago, we were trying to get live here, and we started having little things spinning and going on, and our internet went out. And I think it's my fault because I've had such a bad cloud over my head, technologically speaking, this week. My phone's acting weird. My laptop died. So
Are
please
you
bear
an
with
Android
me.
or an Apple?
Apple.
Just put a C in front of that word and an R.
Yeah, no, it's always good. I like it, but you know, my computer was not Apple.
No.
And that died.
Yeah.
I said to my daughter, I referred to it as DOS. She she nearly died. I'm such an old lady. It's crazy.
Say what?
She's like, what are you talking about? Anyway.
That's so funny.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing great. And you?
Yeah, well, I'm trying. I'm working on it.
It's it's what's that saying? Nobody cares.
Well, that is one saying, yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Nobody cares.
Nobody cares. No. I care, Brian. I care.
I know you do.
I
I appreciate that.
I care.
And how are you?
I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good. Yeah.
Awesome. So what's going on with your real estate day today?
Well, it was a busy day. It's kind of funny. I was just saying that it goes from, just kind of being a little slow there. And then I'm like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And then the next thing you know, the phone's ringing off the hook. We've got that fabulous property down in St. Pete getting a lot of activity. So I've been out showing that. And that's the one on Dartmouth. I think it was last week we highlighted it, and we're getting a ton of showings, and it's just beautiful.
The power of the internet.
It is. So I was running around a little bit today, and yes, it is true. Traffic can sometimes be challenging in our fair community.
In the most densely populated county of Florida. Go figure.
It was a little bit, but and I'm doing a little catch up because I was out of town last week.
Mm-hmm. How'd that go?
It was great. It was a really nice time. Got to, it's kind of funny. I was in San Francisco, and I am interviewing agents for my daughter. Interviewing agents out there because she's going to be looking for a property. But they took me around. They showed me around a couple of places, and it's really nice. But then they did take me through the Tenderloin. I guess it is. It's a scary place.
What is it?
It's where a lot of drug addicts are. It's just a really rough neighborhood.
Okay, in San Francisco.
In San Francisco.
So homelessness, drugs, the whole thing.
The whole thing. Yeah.
One of the funniest stories, before we had Zach, so Brad and Grayson were probably 9 and 11. We went to San Francisco, rode the streetcars, did all kinds of stuff. And some of the streetcars goes, you have to go to Grace Church on Sunday. Whatever you do, stop what you're doing, go to Grace Church. I'm like, all right, we'll go there. And the road's like 6 lanes wide, 3 going each direction. But on Sundays, it's completely blocked off, and it's the parking lot to the church. And you literally hand your keys to a homeless person and expect your car to be here when you get out of church. Oh, yeah, you do. So it's a rental car. It's a rental car. I had insurance. So I'm like, here you go.
Wait. Why homeless people parking cars?
That's what they do. And there's a line out front. There's a line out front of the church, and the people go downstairs to get their food. They're homeless people. And
we've got some viewers here.
Woohoo! What's up, Jason? What do you expect to have from Tenderloin? So you must know Tenderloin, Jason. So thanks for being our first comment of the day. But yeah, so you're going up, and the church is upstairs. You go up the stairs to go to church, and you walk into this place, and it's like 10 steps high of chorus, wall to wall, and everybody that comes down is like Hollywood talent, like not people you know, but I mean that quality, and they just sing and got 100 people in the choir, and then phenomenal service, and then you walk outside and you find the homeless guy to get your keys back in, and you leave.
Well, I'm sorry, I am not going to get past this. Give your key to a homeless person.
Mm-hmm.
Legit?
Yeah, they have orange vests on. They have orange vests on. They're part of the,
you didn't say
they're part of the church.
They got orange vests. They're cool.
But no, I mean, it's not like suit and tie and or military or police or security guard. It is legit homeless person just wearing an orange vest, and they like, park your car here. I need your keys. I'm like, what do you need the keys for? And like, ambulance comes through, or police says we got to move, or fire, or whatever. We got to be able to move your car.
And you don't get a little valet ticket.
Don't get a valet ticket.
Too funny.
So
we didn't do
we're
that.
going 20 some odd years back, so I don't know that they still do it.
I will say, it's not like there's tons of homeless on all the streets, but you can't park your car.
Mm-hmm.
You park your car, but you don't even bother locking it, and you don't leave anything in it because they just smash it. And right. I think they call it San Francisco snow, which is all the broken glass on the streets, because but other than that, it was
I've seen videos.
Yeah.
All right, we're back.
My fault. Lights will go out next.
They switched our internet connection, and they supposedly upgraded it, and I'm going to say they didn't. Whoever got paid for that job did not upgrade the equipment. They might have upgraded their bank account, but they did not upgrade the equipment in my office here. So anyway,
that was me today. So what about you? What are you up to today? How was your group this morning?
Very good. Did investor group. It was light in the meeting. The people that were there was light in attendance, but the online people were, a large amount of people did it remotely. But what was nice is when we got finished, because it was kind of light, people stood around and asked questions and did different things. And so I met like 4 new people there, and all in various stages of doing interesting and unique things. And then, I call him the Godfather. The guy sits back in the corner and
with all the
but he's been doing it literally since the late 60s, early 70s.
Wow.
And super, super knowledgeable. Shares, will share. You have a question, he'll share. But there's usually a bunch of people in there, and it's hard to hear when he's talking because he's kind of elderly. But one of his students and someone that's been kind of in his circle for the last 10, 12 years was there, and he was talking, and he's like, you guys hear the same stuff from Pete, but it comes from a different person, so it kind of has a different angle, same information, but said a little bit different. And it just goes, oh, the light bulb goes up. So that was very cool. And
right.
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting how we process information?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So yeah, and there's various people in there at various levels, and what's nice about the group is if you have a specific question and someone has oh, go ask him, or oh, go ask her, and let me introduce you to so and so. So it is a very open group. So it's very cool.
I think next week I'm going to try and join you.
Pitch that property.
Yeah.
Cool.
I
got North Carolina calling me, and I can't take this call right now. So
do you know who it is?
No. It's North Carolina. The state of North Carolina wants me. So we'll leave it at that.
Wow. So I had an interesting thing happen.
Mm-hmm.
Just as I was on my way here, I have a client that's under contract to purchase a house, and we had it's actually my listing, and the appraiser came out earlier this week. Came out on Tuesday, but I was talking to the loan processor, and the loan processor said, "No, we haven't ordered the appraisal yet."
So who came out earlier last week?
An appraiser. An appraiser came out earlier in the week, and he came out Tuesday. However, the loan that we have in process, they hadn't ordered the appraisal yet. So, isn't that interesting?
I don't know how you get an appraiser
Well,
out.
I was wondering if perhaps the client applied for financing with two different brokers, and one of them went ahead and processed. So tell me about when the appraisal gets ordered, Brian. When we're working with you.
Conventional.
Conventional.
So conventional, depending on whether we're closing it in our company name or we're brokering it, does determine kind of how that does. If we're brokering it, the lender that's going to close it in their name, orders it through their appraisal management system. If we're closing it in our name, we order it. But prior to ordering it, you have to submit the loan, register the loan, because you have to give the appraiser a loan number, and it has to be paid for. So, your client is responsible for that payment, because, if a loan's going to have problems, it's going to have problems with the home inspection, which they paid for, or it's going to have the problem with the appraisal. Once they kind of clear those two hurdles, the next hurdle is underwriting. So underwriting is kind of going on the backside,
right,
of that. And then, your borrower has to pay for the appraisal regardless to who orders it. And once they pay for it, that generally is the order. And then the appraisal management company will do their lottery. And
generally it's paid for before the appraiser goes out, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You can't order the appraisal without being registered. And then,
right.
And then the other part of it is, when you put in the information, they won't take the order unless you pay for it.
Right.
And so you're putting in credit card information at that time.
And for all those listening, I actually know the answers to some of these questions.
Well,
but I asked Brian for behalf of the people that don't, or that are listening.
Yeah, but there are lenders that take that credit card information to pull your credit, and as soon as you sign your loan application, they order the appraisal. And so, we try to stagger it so that you don't have a home inspection fee, an appraisal fee, a termite fee, a survey fee, all charged to you before you even find out the home inspection is good.
And I know we work together closely when we're on the same transaction, and we won't order you will not release the information to order the appraisal until after we've had the home inspection in most cases, because during the home inspection things can be found out where a transaction may die. So
and if you said, hey, we have a home inspection and there's nothing there, we'll order it. If you said, hey, there's a couple things we're trying to work through, we'll hold off and just say, let me know when you got this worked out. Because one of the things that psychologically, when we pay for it, they got to contact a listing agent or the homeowner to get a house. And they go, oh, there's stuff wrong with the house that they want fixed or price reduction, but we just got the appointment to do the appraisal. That means they're moving forward. We don't have to do anything. We don't have to fix any of that. We don't have to lower any prices, because they've already made up their mind they're going to buy the house. So that's the reason we kind of hesitate there, is to not tip our hand on which direction you're going while you're still negotiating issues with the house or issues with the price.
Right.
So coordination.
That's what I'm saying.
Kind of like there's some uncoordination there.
But the things happen. Things happen, and that's why it's important that you have a professional team behind you that we can deal with these as the things that they come up.
Yeah, and the other part of it is listing agents think that they're the only point of contact, and some of these appraisers have MLS access. So if it's a vacant home, or they, knock on the door and no one answers, they use their key and go in and do it.
I frequently have had appraisers just go through what we call showing time, which is the showing service, and make the request that way without actually reaching out and having official, interpersonal contact.
Right.
This is just a very unpersonal, a request for an appointment.
Right. Right.
So that was interesting. It happened on my way here, so I'll be dealing with that when we leave.
So are we looking at your listing, your open house? Are we looking at?
Well, I'm good with that. We have a great open house opportunity this weekend, and it is in the lovely town of Oldsmar. It's actually one of the really great. This is such a fantastic location. It is in Oldsmar, right next to Safety Harbor. It is on starboard 1003 starboard court, and it is on the water. It is a waterfront property, 4-bedroom, 3 full baths, listed at just $675. Look at that view. It is, I think it was our stager said that that was the most beautiful property she's been to. It's a really great property. Is all we have is pictures of the outside?
So
I don't know. I send Brian this stuff.
We are no. You have a full. I think this is the
tour.
little
Virtual video.
Yeah, but if it switches back that same, I think
Yeah,
I'll
it does.
click there. So funny story.
Mm-hmm.
When I came back from the Marine Corps, 93, 94, one of my best friends from high school's brother lived in the mobile home park that used to be right here.
Oh, so you know exactly where it is.
And he lived on the waterfront.
Okay.
About 3 in from the street and overlooking the water. And he was paying like pennies.
Because it used to be a mobile home park. That's right. And now it's these beautiful homes. Beautiful homes. It's 2,587 square feet. So it's a really generous home. It's got a community pool. It's a great little community. Yeah, I don't think we have the pictures. You know what? You're going to have to come to the, there you go. So it's the, big open concept room downstairs overlooking the water. It's got a little lanai out there. And it is right on the bridge that goes from Safety Harbor to Oldsmar. So that's the water that it's on. That's how close it is to Safety Harbor, how close it is to Oldsmar. And it is probably one of the best locations you're going to find in the area, I think.
Did you live here before they replaced that bridge?
No. There's a story here. I hear it coming.
There's a bridge, that bridge there between Safety Harbor and
was it 590?
580. It goes over the water right there in Safety Harbor, Oldsmar. Was originally done in like 1910. So it was like a carriage.
Wow.
But it was 2 lanes. It was concrete. It was 2 lanes. But if the truck got on there, you literally had to wait at one end of the bridge for them to pass to go down the other side. And if like 2 station wagons, remember how big station wagons were when we were kids? Right. That you pretty much rub handles on it or rub the side of the concrete bridge.
Who was that? 3 Billy Goats Gruff? You can come over. Red Rover. Yeah.
Send your car on over.
Yeah, no, it's much better now, folks.
Yeah.
It's much better.
It's a great big beautiful bridge.
Yeah. And this is a really great house too. With the beautiful wood floors, and
there's that lanai.
There's that beautiful lanai. So I don't have the year this was built, but I want to say it's in the maybe 2020 or so. Yeah. So please come out and see. Lori is going to be doing open house on Saturday from 11 to 1. February 2nd, 2/22, my half birthday.
No birthday.
Yeah.
What's that?
Look at that. Look at that bathroom.
Is that the day before your real birthday?
Oh, yeah. We're just going to look at this little house. Look at the California closets.
We're not going to get answered at half birthdays, huh? All right. Moving on. Is that the master or the guest?
That is the guest.
Right.
That is the guest. And the bedrooms, good sized bedrooms. The upstairs, there's the laundry is upstairs as well.
That's great. Beautiful. And this is, what did you say, 3 bedroom, 2 bath?
4 bedroom, 3
bath?
full baths. 3
Nice.
full baths. There, it's got a floor plan.
And the square footage?
And the square footage is 2,587 square feet, 2,587. There's that pool. Look at that pool right along the water.
Yeah, very nice. You just reminded me of something. At the investor meeting today, lady says, got a hunting camp in Sarasota County, 480 something acres for $1.2 million. And before she even got out of her mouth, someone goes, I'll give you full price offer.
Wow.
And she goes, and she goes, well, we're just presenting it right now. You need to do this. No, this is a full price cash offer. I want you to accept it now. And so she looks down and she goes, oh, it's not 1.2, it's $16 million. And so he's like, "Are you the owner?" And she's like, "No, I'm not. I'm listing it." And she goes, "Then you don't know the price of your own listings." And she said, "Well, I've got 4 of them here." And instead of having her listings in front of her, she had like a pad
her
of paper,
notes.
chicken scratch.
Like me.
Yeah, and got. But I mean, it's not like 1.2 to 1.3. We're talking 1.2 to 16 million.
Well, you know, for that size, you should kind of have a little bit of a better handle.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to say she was new to the group and she was very nervous.
Yes, that's a great answer. It just talk about people looking for deals and finding deals. And that lady knew a deal when she heard it. So it was just interesting.
It is. It's funny. It's funny. It's a funny business.
It is.
But you're right. People are looking for deals and they know the deals that they're looking for and they'll move quickly on those deals.
Yep.
So.
Yep. So I came across something interesting that I haven't seen in a while in the wholesale world. There are banks here and there that do them, and they'll come in and do them for 6 months, and then they'll get out. And they'll do them for 3 months, and they'll get out.
All right, I'm going to ask. When you say wholesale deal,
Mhm.
they do 6 months. Explain what you mean.
Wholesale lenders. So on the wholesale lending side, that's the door we go in, which is lower overhead. We don't pay for Super Bowl ads. We don't have park benches and billboards and commercials.
And you close.
That's
loans,
wholesale, and we close loans on time. Retail is the big building on the corner that if you go in there and they pull your credit, and you don't like what they say, you go across the street to the other bank. They got to pull your credit again. And they have all that overhead. All those people standing around, look at you, walk in the bank, and stare at you till you're not, tellers. And
I mean, you said that they'll do like 6 months.
They'll do this loan that I'm going to talk about.
Okay.
For 6 months.
They hold it for 6 months and then they sell it,
No,
or
they'll get into this business for about 6 months and then they'll get out, and they'll, won't offer in a while. So.
Oh, okay. I got you.
And
I got you. The program is not going to last long. Tell me.
Yeah. So it's a professional's loan, and professional, or what most people call them, is doctor's loans, but it's not just doctors. It's doctors, attorneys, CPAs, like pharmacists, that kind of stuff. And
how do you determine? Is it by licensure?
By licensure, but pretty much your PhD or your law degree. There we go. Which, we're having problems. So it's a doctor's, we call it doctor's loan, but it's 100% financing with no mortgage insurance, up to $1 million if you're in your a residency, internship, fellowship, that kind of stuff, and $2 million. It's not 100% to $2 million, but you can do a $2 million loan amount at 90%. Once you're finished with all your schooling. But yeah, $1 million purchase at 0 down, no mortgage insurance, and just a great. And the other thing is they don't count student loans against your debt ratios. Student loans have a period of time where you're 0 down, no mortgage. Period of time where they're in deferment, and so with these special programs for potential high income earners, they don't count that against your ability to qualify.
So are they as favorable as a standard conventional rates?
Yeah, so the rates I'd have to actually sit down and do it. I just found it this morning. Compare rates to rates, but your conventional limit doesn't go to $1 million right now, and it's not 100% even as a first time home buyer. 3% or 5% down. FHA is significantly under $1 million as their loan amount. So it just opens up for people getting into that profession and having over the next couple of years, it gives them an opportunity to get in the house they want and not have to, because once a lot of these doctors, start working, they're working 80 hours a week. They don't have time to pick out a house.
Are you lending in New York?
My lending in New York. Let me see here.
Today,
5 states that need brick and mortar state. New York. No, we're not lending in New York.
Oh, you're not. Okay.
Yeah. No. So it's
okay.
So there's 5 states: Arizona, Hawaii, Missouri, Nevada, and New York State, and the rest of the other 45 states.
Okay.
Not required. So I can do loans from Florida in the other 45 states, basically. if I'm licensed there. But yeah, we're not
New
in New
Jersey.
York. New Jersey. They
It's
want
close enough.
they want to go to
Close
New
enough.
Jersey. So funny.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's something new and exciting.
That is really exciting. And you say though that this program will only last about 6 months, you think?
No, so the lenders are generally the ones that have this loan.
Okay.
And in the wholesale world, prior to the meltdown, we had it, first 6 years I was in the industry, we had access to it. And then the meltdown, it kind of disappeared because it went to, with the meltdown, they wanted people to have skin in the game, regardless of what industry you're from or in or whatever. And the Frank Dodd Act, which required, down payment, proof of funds, and proof of ability to repay, ATR ability to repay, it kind of disappeared from our world. It was still in the retail banks because their license is a little bit different than ours. And so it was in those institutions because doctors are usually local and they're trying to get that local business, local banks are. And so they'll get in and out of that loan depending on how well the loan's performing at that bank. And so it has reared its head a couple of times since 2010, 2 times.
Mm-hmm.
But now I've got a player that's in it with both feet. So,
all right.
Yeah. Just opens up a new line of business for us. Yep.
That's great. And what else you got there? I see he's got like a whole stack of ideas.
It's your turn.
It's my turn.
You are up with your
I have a question.
Numbers.
Oh, my numbers. Let's do my numbers first.
You gotta find them.
Questions. I gotta find them too. So I had an appointment and I shared with the client, when we're looking at pricing a house and we're looking at where we should list it, price it, etc. You want to see what the market's doing, right? And that's the common question. What's the market doing? And this brought up something very interesting. We have this is the Pinellas County statistics for single family detached homes in January 2025. And there's a lot of information here, but if we could maybe expand it. And I want to look at the months of supply, which is that highlighted column there.
And my cursor disappears. I'm trying to do that to get us out of the way. And then I can scoot it up and down. I think I have to go down here to do that. I can scooch it.
Oh, there you go. So as you can see, and I know this is a little bit hard to see because the numbers are small and I'm an old lady, this month but it was good right there.
Want it bigger? Or?
Yeah, if you make it a little bigger, that's good. That'd be good. I mean, I have mine here. I can see it. But this center or the highlighted line is the months of supply. And this will tell us whether the market is a buyer's market or a seller's market or a balanced market. Balanced market, and we've talked about this before, is between 6 and 7 months of inventory. Is indicated in the yellow color.
Yeah, so price points below 700 or 500, 700 are still seller's market, right?
Correct.
And then 700 to 800 become
we're as you go to the higher number, it becomes more of a buyer's market. There's fewer buyers in that market, and there's more inventory out there. Now, but what we did in this particular case, the property was in that 7 to 800 mark. Look at that. It was so interesting because it's 7.3 months of inventory, and just 100,000 lower or higher is vastly different.
Yeah.
But
so you have a house that's priced in this.
That's priced. That's going to come on the market. It's priced in that range. But the thing that you want to understand is that we need to take all of this information with other, not just how many months of inventory there is. Obviously, in January, there was an influx of listings coming on the market in that price range, but we didn't have the buyers, we didn't have the sales. You find the months of inventory by taking the number of homes on the market and divide it by the number of sales, or the other way around, whatever it is. But and I know I'm very precise. In any case, that's how we came up with this. I believe that this was just a little bit of a blip because we had just, in this particular very narrow price range. Overall, 0.5% of months of inventory. It's down on the bottom, the very bottom there. That's
Right
the
there.
total
That's the average of everybody
of
together.
all the homes. Yeah.
Yep.
So what we're looking at is indicators that are pointing us towards moving to a buyer's market, or at least coming to a more balanced market where it's not a buyer or seller market.
Right.
So this is just some of the stuff that we use to help us determine the pricing of a property. And I have all kinds of fun little charts like this to share with you if you want to get all dorky with me and delve deeper.
But part of it's not just looking at how many months of inventory it is. If your house is priced right, it's going to sell, because you may have a $810,000 house that you have priced at $799, and people see the value there. So then they go, oh, there's too much inventory in this price range, we're not going to look at that.
Well, I think, yeah. I think, though, what this is saying is that it is imperative that you have it priced properly,
Mhm.
because there's just very limited. Current month of January, there were a limited number of buyers in that particular price range.
Right.
And so they bought the houses that were priced well. And the other thing in this market, pricing, it is imperative. The right price, you don't want to test the market right now. You definitely do not want to test the market. You want to be ahead of the market and get those buyers that are out there. But also you want to make sure that the house is as together as possible.
So dig a little deeper on testing the market versus being ahead of the market. What do you mean by that? What do you mean?
Well, we have frequently, I'll meet with a seller, and I'll have done the homework as to what the market figures are telling us, where the numbers should be, very objectively telling us what historically is happening. And the seller has lived in the house and they love the house, and they wonderful little ins and outs that don't necessarily translate well to dollars, but they think it should. And so they want to price it a little bit higher, and they'll want to go higher than what the market is saying and see if that's what the house is worth. And they'll test the market and they'll go higher. And what will happen is the first week we'll know right away whether they were correct in their assumption or if the numbers were correct, because we won't have any showing requests. We won't have any traffic, and then we'll have to adjust the price. So that's testing the market.
Yeah. So they did a lot of testing during COVID when people were trying to escape from lockdown states and come into Florida. There's a lot of testing going on.
Mm-hmm.
And
do you have numbers there?
So, well, the other thing I was going to point out is the new loan limits came out in January, and what used to be the high limit of the loan amount, which was like 766,550, 766,550, right in here. The new upper end of conventional loan limit is 806,500. So this section right there, just the tippy top of that section right there was beyond the conventional limit. If you're over by $1, you can't do a conventional mortgage. Obviously you put another dollar in to get down to 766,550. Right. But the upper end of that, and so some people might have said, hey, I'm not going to close this month. I'm going to close in January when I can use a conventional mortgage versus a jumbo mortgage. So that may be kind of where that hotspot is.
Right. There's a the other thing that I had two homes in that price range, or very close to that price range, that took their home off the market at the holidays, mm-hmm. and came back on the market, and came back on the market in mid-January. So, and that's another thing that we're looking at. So there's all those little factors. But however, if I'm going to put a house on the market right away, I want to know what the competition is. I'm going to look at that. So we look
Right.
at all those things.
Cool. Cool. What you got going on?
You got nothing else? Because I got some
Well,
questions.
I keep lifting up my Gators Cup because their basketball team is the number 2 team in the country right now.
Wow.
Number 2.
Wow.
And could be number 1 here real shortly. We play Alabama. So they've beaten 2 number 1 teams, Auburn and Tennessee. And we play Alabama was number 1 at one point. They're now number 4. We play them in like 3 games.
Oh, yeah.
So if we beat them, we
We'll
could
beat
jump. We could jump.
Well, beat them. When are you playing them? When are you?
I'm not playing them. I'm a short old guy.
When are you watching them?
So there's a couple. There's the last 5 games of the season are over the next week and a half, through the end of February, because at the beginning of March begins March Madness.
Oh, right.
March
I've heard
Madness.
That.
And so right now, there's 4 brackets in March Madness, and we're already set up as a number 1 seed in one of the 4 brackets.
Oh,
we have to win the season, but it looks good. So
good.
yeah.
All right.
Just sharing the
For you
Gator.
sports fans out there.
Just jumping on the Gator bandwagon while I can.
And
So.
you usually, a lot of times, you have the colors. I know you're
Right?
not.
Not today. Not today. Wasn't thinking. So, but yeah, that's pretty much what's going on.
So I have some questions for you.
Okay.
And questions for anybody that's listening to either type in now or send us. But I am interviewing, as I mentioned, I'm helping my daughter in San Francisco. She's in California. She's going to be buying a house, and I'm helping her to find an agent that they feel good about. What kinds of things would you suggest people ask when looking for an agent and a lender?
Great question. And
I have some answers, but
I knew you were going to ask it. To me, there's a couple of things. One, obviously, you want to work with somebody you know, like, and trust. And if you don't know them, then you get a referral from somebody you know, like, and trust. Because that takes a lot of pressure and stress out of the situation, so that you can think, and when you do get emotional about something, that you know that the trusted person you're working with, to go, yeah, they love this house, they got to have it, and then your negotiation just went out the window. So know, like, and trust is very big with me, because I know that there's 8,000 realtors in
there's a lot
in the Pinellas County or whatever, and there's a very small amount of that 8,000 that do enough business to be proficient at what they do. And so volume is very important. And it's not just the number of transactions, because you can do $550,000 transactions, very small transactions, and no contracts, but you may not know the problems of a $1.5 million house. So looking that they have, experience in the
price range
that you're looking at, because they're going to know the problems. They're going to know not the cost, but the idea of what, what's the roof cost on this house? That's a $40,000 roof. What's a air conditioner? That's a $12,000. And those are ballpark, but it kind of gives you an idea as you walk through a house with somebody, to have a working knowledge of what do things cost, because an air conditioner on a $50,000 house is not the same air conditioner that's on a $1 million house. You might need 3 air conditioners for a $1 million house. And so just the not only experience, but a working knowledge of the different price ranges that your clients are going to be working in. So the people will say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm sending a small loan." Well, small fish, big fish, they all swim. But with 24 years experience, I've seen them. It's not my first fish.
Let me ask you a question, because I know that for on the buy sell side, the buy side, let's say, I was going to say $50,000 condo, but they don't exist.
Right.
But like a $100,000 condo versus a $1 million home. The $100,000 condo is harder. It's a more difficult transaction, and for the most part, not all of them, investors, it's a different story, but a lot of times we have a lot of seniors that are looking at their budgets are very tight, and this purchase is a big portion of that budget, where the higher end homes, it's not as scary for the purchaser, even though the numbers are bigger. It's really kind of interesting. I find that we work much harder on the smaller numbers.
And it's if you remember in school, the old bell curve, both ends of the curve, new home buyers, elderly, get downsizing, and then as the bell goes up, the higher priced homes, the budget isn't as much of a concern as maybe the schools and the neighborhood and that kind of stuff. So, but first time home buyer and downsize senior citizen home, budget is very important, and they're both very stressed about that.
Very stressed about
that.
Very stressed.
Yeah. So I totally agree with that. And then it's not that numbers don't matter when you get into the move up trophy and that those kind of second homes and that kind of stuff. It's just that's not the focal point.
Well, the more resources you have, the more options you have.
Yep.
The fewer resources, the fewer options, and it is challenging. So yes, I agree with you. I agree with you on that. I do think that the number, like we have, you can have an agent that's done, a lot in dollar volume, but maybe not a transaction number. And I think that that's really important, because the more transactions, obviously, the more experienced you are. Yep. So that's a big thing that I was looking at. In the area that they are looking, my kids are looking, it is a very unique area that there's a lot of micro markets within the market, and pricing varies drastically from street to street, depending on it's in San Francisco. So there's one little part of the street that's sunny, and there's one part that's foggy all the time. I don't know that.
And you want to live in which side?
Well,
which is the more desirable one?
Personally, in the mood I'm in the foggy side.
Foggy side.
But I think they want to live on the sunny side of the street. So, which I thought was interesting. And we have that somewhat. We have that here. I mean, I know that it's really important that just the feel of different neighborhoods, and we can't talk about specifics of things by equal housing standards.
Yeah, but I mean, sunny, dark, sunny, foggy.
That's different.
In our neck of the woods. It's sometimes it's offshore breeze. If you get too far inland, you get no breeze.
That's right.
You might have a bigger house and a less expensive house,
right,
but you're not getting any offshore breeze during the warmer months. And that may be something, the fresh, that invigorates you. So you want to move further west. We do have it without getting into, lending and fair trade.
Fair housing stuff.
Fair housing stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was kind of interesting. Talking to, my clients, this is something that's hard to quantify, is communication and responsiveness. I mean, that's key. That's key in the transaction. And everybody's going to tell you they're a great communicator. But, how long did it take for them to return my call?
Right.
It's
setting expectations, and it's, if you kind of have to, Lori and I had this conversation yesterday.
That's so funny.
Can you give me a number to so-and-so? And I said, yeah, sure. And I got home. He hasn't called me back. I'm like, he's busy. The guy that answers the phone, as soon as you call, the first ring, and he may not be busy. I try.
It is very tough.
I learned this in the firearms industry when I came out of the Marine Corps. And there was two things that I learned. One was volume. Doing gun shows, I learned more in a weekend than most people would see in a year in a gun store.
Exactly.
And so, I go out to $20,000-$30,000 of accessories in one weekend, and some stores didn't sell that in a single year. And then the other thing is when the phone rings, pick it up, because the people in front of you have already driven and they're already in the store. They're going to look around and they're going to find something to do in there. You need to get the phone and get them back and get them in the store. And so there's a balance there, because you go, oh, the guy picked up the phone on the first ring. He must not be busy. He must not know what he's doing. So there's that, some people go, we learned under somebody that says, you don't want to deal with the person that can answer his phone. You want to deal with the person that has to call you back because he's
I don't think so. I think that's something people say. I think people say that, but I don't think the reality plays out.
No,
I've never said, "Oh, you've answered. Forget it. I don't want to work."
No, I hear you. I hear you. I'm just telling you, we both learned from somebody that used that as the reason he didn't answer his phone.
Okay, I get it now. Yeah, but some people are wrong.
Yeah, some people are wrong.
That's all we need to say.
But there's one other thing on
choosing lenders. Choosing
lenders. Brokers are better than banks. I mean, that's number one. Brokers are better than banks. And then, are you getting information from them that allows you to make educated decisions, not just numbers? Your rate is this. Go find a house, because that's what you get from banks and credit unions. You literally get a piece of paper that says how much you qualify for, but with no breakdown as to what your payments, what your closing costs, and what your down payment is. And so, and then that adds a lot of stress, because you go, oh, I found the house for $750,000, but I have no idea what I'm paying for it. And so, have a gentleman that's trying to put together a $2.5 million deal, thought he wanted to do it all in one go, and then he saw the number. And he goes, well, I'm not ready for that number now. I'm not going to be ready for that number for 2 or 3 years. I wanted to buy the lot and sit on the lot for a little while, put some more cash down and get that number down to this number. And I can do that over 3 or 4 years. I don't want to be pressured to do that 1 or 2 years.
Right.
So giving him the number gave him the ability to say, oh, we don't want to go straight into new construction. We want a lot loan, and then, with some time to, get our stuff together. And the other part of it is, with Lahaina, the fire that happened in Lahaina, it was 18 months ago, and they haven't issued a single building permit, and they haven't paid a single insurance claim. And so how do you do new construction on a 1-year, 2-year mortgage when you have no idea how fast the permits, plans, and approval are going to come? And then you got to build it,
right.
So that's just an example of, getting the knowledge you need to make an educated decision without just having a number or an interest rate thrown at you.
Right.
So
well, that's what we're all about.
Yeah. Numbers. Yo, you're good.
Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah. Been there. Heard that.
Not here.
But anyway, so that's kind of what, if you have, I would love to hear from anybody that's listening, what they would look for, what kinds of questions to ask, and what kinds of things you're looking for. So.
And communication. I do agree. Communication is key. You're not always going to like the answers that you get, but if you get honest answers, you can make a decision that's best for you and your family.
Right.
Yep. That's what we get. That's why we do so well together.
We do. Well, it's been great. Good.
Yep. Anything else?
That's it.
All
That's it for me today.
Woohoo. Well, thank you. Thank you for being a part of this. Thanks you for joining us.
Thanks, for tuning in.
Jixon's my buddy from my first 90-day challenge 2 years ago, and he lives in Colorado.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
Yeah. And we both got shut down from texting.
I remember that.
Yeah. Or the texting bros.
Okay, so there's all kinds of laws about texting, robocalls, and
just went into effect.
Well, there was always some, but there were some new regulations. But I want to know, because I know at Keller Williams we hear, people have been sued, people are being fined. I want to get in on this because I have the most calls coming in all the time, and I'm always asking what company they're with, because if I can get the company, I can nail them. But unfortunately, they hang up.
Not with the Google numbers that you can not tell where they come from, and VPNs and all that stuff.
Nope.
it
Nope.
it makes it a lot harder.
Nope.
And it is annoying, but the you should see a decline in it, because when people sell those leads and you opt into those, now it has to name the company that's taking the lead and who they're selling it to. Those are the two people that can be on it, and it can't have like this. We're going to sell to these 4,000 companies, and
Right.
hope you hit the target and hope you sell them to them. It's very specific. So, yeah, it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
All right, on that one.
Okay.